Well, wealth is actually a process, and it's a system. And I think a lot of times we just think about wealth in terms of money, but there's different aspects to wealth. And so it's really important to have an understanding about that.
Okay.
Yes.
So in your definition,
yes.
in one sentence,
yes.
wealth is?
Wealth is legacy.
Legacy?
Yes.
What you leave behind when you are gone?
Yes, and the lives that you impact in the process.
Okay.
Yes.
Very different from what a lot of Kenyans would consider wealth. To them, it's bank balance. It is disposable income.
Yes.
It is how much money I'll have if I don't have a job.
Yes, all that.
So how do you contrast that with your particular definition?
Well, actually, the nice house and the bigger car and the money in the bank comes as a byproduct of actually adding value in people's life. When you make your life all about transformation, then you get all these things. But if your life is about chasing the things, then that's not true wealth.
Okay. I want to push you on that, but I'll come back to you to talk a bit about that shortly. Wealth fitness.
Yes.
I have a basic definition in my head that it is related to, I guess, fitness of the body, an ability to be effective in how you take care of your body. And I guess then would be the same with wealth, in that you're effective in how you handle your wealth?
Yes, it has a lot to do with how you, make money, how you become wealthy, how you manage that, and what kind of a legacy you leave behind with the money that you've made. So that's what Wealth Fitness is. We're an international institute that trains people on money, business, and wealth. Okay.
So you've gone around the world and talked to different people about how to make money and create wealth.
Yes.
When did you get to that point where you said, I now believe I have learned enough about this to go and tell others?
Well, actually, it's interesting because it's a journey, and you're constantly discovering new aspects of wealth every single day. I was born and raised here in Kenya, lived off about 100 bob a day for a family of 5. So it was quite a challenge, but over time, I grew to becoming the person that I am. And where it started for me is that I started a little company in the United States, which grew to become one of the fastest growing franchise in the country. And I found out very quickly that what I thought was ordinary to me was not to a lot of business people. I started traveling around training some of my franchisees, and then I said, you know what, maybe this knowledge is worth sharing out there with the world. And then I started training other business people.
Can you train people on how to be wealthy? And I said this from example, and I'm a bit of a skeptic here, so bear with me. I know people who have gone for seminar upon seminar upon seminar. They're always joining this one. The number of SMSs you get, join this initiative, you'll be wealthy, and that sort of thing.
Yes.
Can you really teach it? Because I see, the way I see it, sometimes you're either born with it or somebody walks with you and teaches you how to do it, but a seminar, training?
You know, it's interesting because a lot of those seminars are actually motivational seminars, and I think that's the problem. People go get excited and then they go back to their ordinary life. Unlike that, we are not a motivational seminar company. We're actually a results-oriented seminar. So we don't just get people motivated, we actually train people on how to be successful in life, and that's really what makes us different, because at the end of the day, results don't lie.
Okay.
So when you get people the results that they're looking for, our job is to move you from where you are to where you want to be. It's that simple.
For example, I cannot afford your training, but I'm watching the program today.
Yes.
And I'm either jobless youth, finished Form 4, or I've just gotten my degree. Maybe I've been tarmacking for the last, and in Kenya, sometimes tarmacking can be a full-time job.
Yes.
What would you tell such a person that you think would change their life? Well,
actually, here's a funny thing, Wahiga. Let me share something. Anytime we do these events around the world and they're paid events, people actually show up. When it's free, they don't want to show up. And you see, you gotta have some skin in the game, because information is readily accessible, but it's what you do with the information. So for example, we're doing an event tomorrow at the Trademark Hotel inside Village Market. It's a free event. You could come and attend the event, but the question is, are you willing to pay the price? Because a lot of people are not willing to pay the price when it comes to success. Think about it. People want to lose weight, but they don't want to go to the gym. They want to be successful, but they don't want to show up to an event. So at the end of the day, it's not about information. Information is readily accessible. You can get it anywhere. The question is, what will you do with the information? What stands between you and success is opportunity and the actions that you take.
Unemployment is a big issue in our country.
Yes.
World Bank statistics, I think, that were done last year, and they did not come to light much because last year was an election year and we were really focused on politics.
Yes.
Showed that Kenya is in a bad place in terms of unemployment if you compare us with the rest of East Africa. In fact, our unemployment rate is an addition of the unemployment rates of our neighbors.
Oh my goodness, yes.
What do you tell a growing youthful population with limited jobs about how they can begin to think differently?
I don't think, you know, the problem is not a lack of resources. I think the problem is lack of being resourceful. And I think a lot of opportunities surround us every single day. So people want to talk about unemployment, but if you pay attention closely, there's a lot of opportunities. I was just talking to a young man the other day, and he was saying, you know, I don't have a job, I don't have a job. And I said, you know, have you considered, you know, looking at all these people with automobiles and telling them, hey, you don't have to come to me, I'll come to you, I'll wash your vehicle, I'll detail your vehicle. He said, I've never thought about that. I said, you know, there's plenty of opportunities, just a matter of you taking action. You know, you have to be intentional in situations when there is a lot of unemployment. I've been there before several years ago, and I had to learn to go out there and looking for where people are complaining the most. That is where there is an opportunity. So just go around, and anytime you see somebody complaining, offer a solution. You just got yourself hired.
You just got yourself hired.
Yes.
You've traveled around the world. You grew up here, but you now live in the States.
Yes.
What have you seen out there that you wish people understood here?
I think what I wish people would really understand here is that it takes time, and you have to be willing to be patient.
People come to you and tell you, we want
money right now. I want to be wealthy right now.
Okay, I don't blame them. I'm in the same position.
Yes, it takes time. You have to constantly, you know, ask yourself the question, why? You know, why am I getting into this business? Why should people invest in me? And I think that's what I'm learning every single day, is that if you can understand your why in life, then it's not really about where you are. It's not about being in the United States. There are no greener pastures out there. That's a myth. You create the greener pastures. You know, so the best way to predict future is really creating one. I think that's what I would tell young people.
Okay.
Create your future, the future that you want to see.
You say there are no greener pastures out there.
Yes.
I would say I don't think so. Systems work out there. Still trying to fix our systems here. So some feel, let me go to a place where the systems actually work, and hopefully my ideas will then bear fruit.
Absolutely. So are there better systems out there in some aspects? But I came to find out that you could be successful regardless where you are. You really actually can. We have clients on different places of the world, places that are even worse than this. And those guys have taken some of the trainings that we offer, and they've turned it into something and become successful. Again, I think the key thing is this. Look at where people are complaining the most, even in a country like Kenya, where are people complaining the most, and then go out there and offer a solution. And sometimes the solution doesn't have to be something new that doesn't exist. I mean, you know, we talk about companies like Uber today. Uber did not invent the mobile app. They did not invent a vehicle. They just looked for an opportunity where people are complaining. Then they offered a solution. So systems are better out there, but we are getting better every single day. I am so proud with this country and what's happening here.
Okay. So I'm getting some feedback about possible scenarios.
Yes.
So let's imagine you have a training session. You have a mama mboga there. You have a shoe shiner. You have a insurance salesman.
Yes.
What would you tell them about wealth fitness stroke wealth creation with the resources they currently have?
Well, actually, it does not matter where you are or where you are starting. The question is, where are you going? So one of the things that I teach people is first identify where you are. So for Mama Mboga, you know, the question is, how do we double your profits in the next 60 days? What if one piece of information, such as great customer service, you taking care of your clients way better than the other Mama Mboga, could actually double your business in the next 60 days or 90 days. What's going to happen is that, again, it's a journey. You will be able to double the profits, you'll be able to grow your business and be competitive. So at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, what's my distinctive competence? What am I bringing on the table? Don't try to measure yourself with just everybody else. You know, measure standards against yourself. Am I doing whatever it takes, or am I just doing my best? The same thing with the insurance person. You can be able to grow and double your business. So at the end of the day, it's all about raising your standard. It doesn't matter. Growth is predicated by raising your standards.
As you look at Kenya, where we are right now, would you advocate more for young people to look towards employment or towards starting their own initiatives? Or is that, and as you teach people, do you tell them, those who are employed, leave your jobs? Well, or, you know, you're working for somebody else, or stay in employment, you know, you're better off there?
That's not really what I teach, but what I can tell you is that statistics show that 96% of the world's most successful people, they build their wealth around entrepreneurship. So that tells me that there's something within entrepreneurship. Now, is it possible to still be employed and become very successful in life? 100%. I've seen it even in my own organization. I have people that work for me, but they have other businesses that they are running. So at the end of the day, it's about finding that balance. But like I said, 96% created their wealth through entrepreneurship. So
what do you think are the challenges? And of course, you've grown up in Kenya. What do you see as the excuses? What do you see as the blocks that stand in the way of a lot of people achieving what you are talking about?
You actually answered that in the sentence. You just said, what are the excuses? That's the number one thing.
So the number one thing is excuses.
We have taken a lot of time researching this, and we found out that a lot of people are just full of excuses. Everybody wants to blame everybody else, but nobody is willing to pay the price. So it's easier to blame the government. It's easier to blame your neighbor. It's easier to blame your friends, but nobody really says that, hey, I'm responsible for my life. And the question becomes, you are where you are in life because of the decisions you've made. So people act surprised all the times. I don't know how I got here. No, you got there because of some decisions. Opportunities are always knocking. The question is, what will you do? Yes.
Can you teach an old dog new tricks?
Yes, it's hard, but yes.
You get people who come to you in their 70s and you're trying to tell them the excuses you've been making for the last 70 years need to change. How are you going to change a person like that?
It's interesting. We've seen all kinds of people in our seminars, from young 18-year-olds to 70 years. If you are willing, you will make the money. And we've trained a lot of people becoming multi-millionaires. It doesn't matter with your age.
Is there a money-back guarantee? I've seen that.
Yes,
American concept. If within 60 days I'm a mama boga and I don't.
Yeah, we do have products like that. Yeah, sometimes you give people their money, but it's interesting. I haven't seen that in my career because we deliver value.
Which of the countries that you visited, what sort of attitudes have you seen, and which specific countries where you just feel that if other people tapped into this, they'd be a lot further ahead? Sort of give us global trends.
Well, China is a very interesting place, and now we're doing business in China. I think there's a lot of people being resourcefulness there. People have gotten to a place they're not depending on the government, but they're actually taking it upon themselves to advance themselves. And I think if as a country we would embrace that, if we begin to start looking at small and medium enterprises or businesses as companies that can make a difference and start paying attention to them, encouraging marketing and innovation, I think we can really grow far as a society.
It's interesting you brought up China. Tell me about Africa, home of all the minerals you could ever want, huge population, people that can work, a lot of them fluent in the big languages of the world, whether it's English, French, etc. And yet, and I don't have exact stats, but still the poorest continent in the world. What is the problem? What has been the problem and continues to be the problem?
I think the problem has been greed, and I hate to say that. I'm born and raised here, but it's very interesting to see how transactional we are instead of transformational. We don't want to support each other's businesses. It's all about hit and run. How much money can I make from you today, and advance myself? And sometimes we forget about relationships, because long term is where the money is made. Is not short term. And we got to get to a point to put the greed aside and say, hey, let's advance ourselves as a country.
Okay. Is this I know you're here for a limited time. Do you plan to sort of keep coming back, and sort of what is your program in terms of where you want to go over the next couple of months?
Yes, absolutely. So this present moment we're doing a tour. I'm going to London, Switzerland, Germany, Belgium, South Africa, Zambia, but this is my home, and yes, we're coming back. We'll be here in August, as a matter of fact.
You'll be here in August as well?
Yes.